Oh boy. All right. This is a typical Ben Shapiro video, but I don't know. I have a hair in my ass to pick on Shapiro. Yeah, how OnlyFans is destroying our society. Do you not say fans on YouTube anymore? Because every time he says it, it gets bleed. He'll say only, and then like that's it. So if I'm saying OnlyFans right now, and it's gonna get me taken down, that's some bullshit. All right. Anyway,
It is a Friday, and that means it's time to do a little bit of culture talk. I know. But the good news is my production team is filled with people who actually care about this stuff, and so we're going to go through it for your viewing pleasure or suffering, depending on the kind of thing that you like. So, apparently, Denise Richards, you remember her? Maybe you don't. She was in a
yeah,
Bond movie at one point. She's in Wild Things
she's
with
married to
Nev
Charlie
Campbell
Sheen.
and all the rest of that crew, Matt Dillon. And now she has a reality show with her kids called Wild Things. And her daughter apparently has an only. Apparently that is a thing. So here
Okay.
is Sammy Sheen, who again, Denise Richards had her kids with Charlie Sheen. So that is a
Yeah. Oh shit. We down. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Sorry, it went fuck you for a minute. Okay. Anyway,
was the one who objected to Sammy joining only. When Charlie Sheen is the responsible one in a relationship, you know you got a problem. Here is Sammy Sheen explaining why she joined
I'd party with Charlie.
only in June 2022. She was 18.
Okay.
I think what made me start an OnlyFans in the beginning is because I really wanted to get an apartment, and I knew that working at the candy shop I was working at wasn't going to cut it.
Fair
So
enough.
I went to the next best thing and made an OnlyFans. It opened so many doors for me, and I've met really cool people doing it, and it's been really nice and rewarding being my own boss and making my own hours and being able to do the things I've always wanted to do.
This is so sad. I'm sorry. That's so sad. She's met some really good people. Really? Is those are the people you meet when you are stripping for money on only?
I mean, isn't the sad part? I know she's a celebrity or she's a celebrity's kid and all that, but like, isn't the more sad thing that people, not just her, this is like all over the place, that people like her do have to start doing OnlyFans because their jobs won't let them afford somewhere. I couldn't afford this shithole slum apartment with just the money I make. Like, I'm thankful that I'm married to somebody that makes about the same amount of money I do, and we barely afford this fucking place. This place is a shithole. You know what my setup is right now? I'm on a TV dinner tray with my laptop and my microphone on my couch. Like, I don't have, you know, like, I don't know. I feel where she's coming from. I feel where anybody doing OnlyFans is coming from. They're not pieces of shit for, that's what they're doing it for, is money.
That's how. Also, by the way, she is the daughter of Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards. I assume that there is some money available to help pay for the apartment.
Well, something about that too is sometimes no matter how rich your parents are, Mr. Daddy's money, is that some parents just will not financially help their kids at all, regardless of their income. Like they, like she might, like if she became homeless, you know, like their parents would do that. Some people are unfortunate enough that they don't even have parents that would let them move back in if they were homeless. Uh, like I said, I know that she is rich, but you know, that doesn't mean her mom helps her financially all the time, like your parents did. I mean, you've never actually had a real job. You've basically just been doing this. So,
Like this was your best job opportunity available, was stripping or working at the candy store. Those were the two big jobs.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, my options are, yeah, shitty low paying job or this. That's why I'm trying to make this shit work. So
Opportunities. Well, never you fear. Denise decided that after watching the success of her daughter, she too would join OnlyF because the family that strips together stays together.
no.
When I saw that Sammy was getting so much backlash, it really upset me as a mom, and also
Probably makes a few people happy that she has one. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have wanted to bang Denise Richards. So now they can look at her naked. That's, so good for them.
as a woman in this business, because of I've done roles where I have been, I did Starship Troopers, very conservative, and a totally different role from this was very beginning of my career, and when I did Wild Things, totally two different roles, and people could judge either one. And so, and then after Wild Things, and then to be perceived as a sex symbol and doing photo shoots for that, and people can have an opinion about that. I didn't want, it bothered me that she was getting backlash for owning her own sexuality and her being a woman and doing what she wanted to do. And that's why I joined it. I didn't understand it before, and then I quickly learned. But that's ultimately why I did it. And I kind of made a sort of a joke about it. I posted something when.
I mean, whether you think this is like weird or not, she does obviously like love her daughter. Like she's trying to support her. Like her daughter is getting backlash, and she's joining in and being like, "Hey, fuck off! I do this too." And I mean, if you can take anything away from that, is that she's taking up for her daughter, and I mean that's a lot better than a lot of these people that are on OnlyFans get. A lot of these people, they get on OnlyFans, if their moms or their dads or whatever find out, they'd be disowned, beaten. They'd be like, never fucking talk to me again, you whore. So, no. So at the end of the day, this is a nice thing, whether you think it's odd or not.
And she did join when she was people.
You got to remember, Hollywood people are fucking weird, dude. Like, they just are. Like, you've seen them. We've all seen them. Like they're just weird, but that doesn't mean they're not. That doesn't mean they're horrible people. They're just odd.
People were making comments because it's hard because she's so young, and she was 19 or 18 when
I was
she joined.
I just turned 18 when I started.
She was 18 years old,
It was
and
crazy.
for me, I thought, oh my gosh, for her at 18 to have people have negative comments about her, it really bothered me. So that's why I, decided to do it.
Wow, that sounds like a reasonable explanation. I mean, to be fair to Denise Richards, basically all she's doing on OnlyFans is what she was doing in Wild Things when all the teenage boys had to go to Blockbuster Video and then pause the tape. So, I mean, nothing particular.
It's a little too specific, Ben. Who is that? Was she the one you did that with? Like, was that your movie, or was your movie like? I doubt you've ever seen Bogey Nights. I don't know. Mine was. I don't think they're allowed on TV anymore. I'm surprised they ever were. But mine was those censored Girls Gone Wild commercials. That was my thing before smartphones existed.
Really shocking happening with Denise Richards over there. I do feel horrible for their sister. So of Sammy's sister. So Sammy's sister is a person named Lola, and Lola was recently baptized in the Christian church, and she looks so uncomfortable during these.
Okay, yes. She has more morality over them now because she got dipped in enchanted water with +4 holy defense.
She looks just uncomfortable, which she should. So Denise Richards was asked, how do your kids feel about mom joining OnlyF, which again is stripping for money. That's all it is.
How do you both feel about your mom opening up an account?
I think it's great. I always just tell her I wish she waited a little bit because she started it right after I did. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Mm-hmm. Lola might say something else.
Whatever she makes.
I don't know what more I could do.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right there. Like, that's a lot more than you would have said, Ben. Like, if you're trying to give her more merit for being in the right, she said whatever makes you happy. And really, people that aren't like devout Christians, or Jews or Muslims or like people that are just like me who are just trying to get through life. That's really all we ask of uh, religious people is just to turn the other cheek, just be like, well, whatever makes you happy, you don't infringe on my shit, I won't infringe on your shit. I know that's like an impossible demand for dipshits like you, but what the fuck else you want from us? Free country.
She didn't know what more she could do. Well, she could not do that. Maybe she could figure out a way to, help her daughter so she doesn't become a career stripper. Maybe that. This sort of mainstream is one of the worst things that has happened in American public life. It's just horrifying.
Oh, yeah. The worst thing to happen to America. Moral panic bullshit. How original, Ben. Let me let you in on a little secret here. People have always, since the beginning of humanity, done some kind of sex work. It's actually safer than it ever has been, and that's cool. You're pretending like it's new for people to do this kind of stuff. It's the world's oldest profession, sex work is, which also means it deserves some goddamn respect. So you shut your fucking mouth.
The turning of normies into stars who sell their bodies for money is just gross.
What? So you're fine with sex work existing in the shadows, but not in like a safe, controlled environment where people aren't getting fucked up? I've heard some horror stories about, well, obviously from prostitutes and strippers, but also even like porn stars that are like on the professional sets. They've had some horror stories about some horrible shit that's happened. And the fact that people now have the privilege to make a living doing that just from their bedroom that's really cool, actually.
We'll get to more on that in a moment. First, it's often said freedom isn't free, and that is true. Freedom, of course, has to be defended. What isn't said?
Yeah.
How do you ban public?
Yeah.
And think it's gross. Well, I have some more you can get for going to expressvpn.com/Ben Shapiro Show. And if you don't think it's gross, well, I have some more gross only content for you. So hope you're ready, and you can blame producer Jessica for compiling all of this. So apparently, you remember there was an announcement that Bonnie Blue, who is an OnlyF creator, which is to say she's a on camera.
Fucking legend, bitch. Like, I mean, have you heard of anybody else fuck that many people in a day? That's pretty impressive. You and I couldn't do that.
I mean, I don't know what else you call it. She literally has on camera for money. That is what she does.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's so unique. She fucks people for money on camera? That's insane. Like, I've never heard of that before. What a piece of shit woman.
And if she's insulted by that, I would wonder why, because definitions of words exist. In any case, Bonnie Blue, who had with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
You go, girl.
Which is 10 men an hour. No, I'm sorry, 100 men an hour? That is 100 men an hour. Somewhere in that 80 men an hour?
It's like 85.
Logistical questions that are probably not air appropriate for how precisely that works. Is it just like an assembly line? Like, what is the average time? I had some. In any case, she suggested that she was pregnant, and this led to all sorts of memery, particularly from the Maury show, which this is the ultimate Maury show. Is that Bonnie Blue said that she was pregnant after having with 1,057 men. It did lead to one of the great tweet exchanges of all time, where somebody said, "Well, wasn't she using birth control?" And somebody said, "Well, it's 99.9% effective," and she had with 1,057 men. So you do the math. Right? Fair statistical analysis that you have made, sir. But it turns out that she wasn't actually pregnant. She faked the pregnancy, which I have to say I'm relieved for the potential child that doesn't exist of Bonnie Blue. Like, I'm glad for children to be born, but I don't think that everyone should necessarily have to be mothered by Bonnie Blue.
What a fucking hypocrite. Like, you're framing all this shit as like some moral dilemma. What all you're doing, it's pretty fucking obvious. You're just attacking sex work. I mean, you're stupid. Or you're happy if the child is conceived, but you don't want it to happen. Like, okay, that makes a whole lot of fucking sense, Ben.
That seems bad. Like, if the child were already created, I'd be very happy that the child was created. But if Bonnie Blue could not have a baby with a random stranger, I feel like that's also not a terrible thing.
he has to say this because he knows that if he said she shouldn't have a baby, why the fuck is she pregnant? Oh my god. That he knows that detractors would come for him and say, oh, so you're saying she should get an abortion then, right? And he doesn't want to deal with that like as a back and forth. Like, so he has to cover his ass by being a hypocrite because there's no way of winning that argument because this is so fucking stupid.
Thing. In any case, she apparently faked it to raise funds for a stranger's IVF. It's all for charity, folks. For a stranger's IVF.
If it's for a good cause, why does it matter what the source of income is? Your stupid ass probably doesn't apply to that, to like evil billionaire vampires donating to charity, but you will to a grassroots movement, Mr. I'm a libertarian.
IVF treatment. Again, she is the least decent model for IVF I've probably ever heard.
Also, what you said earlier, why are you suggesting that sex workers are inherently bad parents? I don't think you realize how many people are sex workers and how many do take good care of their kids. Most parents that are sex workers are doing it for their kids, making sure they have food and shelter. But I mean, your rich ass has never had to worry about those things. So once again, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Surprise, surprise. Ben Shapiro is just fucking diarrhea shitting out of his fucking mouth.
But this is so I guess we're just going to do like biblical conundrums now. Like, can you use money to pay for temple dues and that sort of stuff?
I mean, why not? I mean, churches take money from like Nazis and shit all the time. So what's wrong with taking it from like OnlyFans money or even like prostitute money? If you're going to take your shit from like white supremacists, like where's the cutoff? Like, to a church, money's money. They don't give a shit. Same for businesses.
Like, we're really going to do like Talmudic debates over this sort of thing now. Great. How exciting. By the way, she wasn't the only girl this week who faked a pregnancy. Apparently, Lily Phillips, who had, held the title of person who slept with the most people in a particular time period until Bonnie Blue decided to, outshine her. She had slept with 100 men. She announced that she was pregnant. And then it turns out that was fake. And it was role play for her subscribers. It was role play. Don't worry. OnlyF is only enriching the lives of Americans and the health of women. Oh boy, this is the culture you have created, and I hope that you wallow in all of it.
Jesus fucking Christ! Not every fetish or kink is the end of Western fucking civilization. You fucking whiny Puritan little bitch boy. Oh, this is society now. Okay. Back in the 1700s, pirates used to just pull up on shore. There'd be a prostitute there. They give the prostitute some money. The prostitute would bend over right in the middle of the fucking street and just start clapping their cheeks. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen anymore, but like, that was society back then. That was a traditional society. So what? Some woman being like, ooh, look at me. I'm role playing as pregnant. That's where you draw the line. Like, fuck off.
Okay. Other pieces of culture today. So I've been told, again, I'm just informed of these things and then told that people want to hear about them. I'm not sure I share the sentiment. But in any case, apparently Alec Baldwin and family.
I don't give a shit about Alec Baldwin. We already talked about Alec Baldwin today. So this dipshit is ignoring how capitalism actually shapes culture. If society creates economic desperation, people are going to look for profitable alternatives, whether that be sex work, podcasting, music, or what the fuck ever. Motherfucker never questions why people turn to OnlyFans, just as they're pieces of shit for doing so. If this motherfucker actually gave a rat's ass about young women not resorting to OnlyFans, he'd advocate for shit like better wages, universal health care, and affordable housing. But he won't, because his closeted incel audience would stop watching him. Anyway.